Hey everyone, we are back. Melissa with the Creative Season, and you know what? After I left us the other night, I'm like, I left this on left the painting on my table as I often do, and I just wanted to add more detail. So I thought I'm going to shoot another video and just show you how I add detail. Now, some people love like that loose watercolor look, and sometimes I do too. But sometimes if I just look at a painting, I just think to myself, it's not finished. You have that sense of something's not finished. So you can see I started sketching in. I just want to do a little bit more of the Eiffel Tower, and then I thought I would go ahead and turn on the camera. I didn't want to be too tedious here, but I just wanted to show you how some of the ways that if you feel like you want to add some more detail and add another layer of painting, you certainly can. So I'm just going to come through here. When I sketch, right now I am using a number 2, but I will go ahead and switch over to an 8 micron here in a minute. But I wanted to show you again just some of the ways I will add detail when I feel like a painting is not quite finished. If I want to add, or maybe I'm just wanting to doodle some more. Sometimes it is just so fun to do some more doodling. So you can see in here, I have the benefit too of everything is super dry. I'm not going to be flooding it with paint water tonight, so I'll probably end up taking off the top as well and showing you that. Now I wanted to show you another one. I had done one of these on a Facebook Live. It got really muddy, but it was fun. It started to get a little bit muddy. But another idea that you can do if you ever finish a painting, think, gosh, I want to add something to it. So like say I wanted to add in the Eiffel Tower back here, right? I could just take my micron pen and sketch in the back. If you want to do it with pencil first, you certainly could. And I'm just going to pretend like this is way far away. And I have done this sketch enough times now that I can get the basic outline of the tower at a certain perspective. So I'm just going to go through here, and I am just doing a very loose sketch of it just in the back. I'm not even going to add a lot of detail here. I am making sure as well, I'm going to make sure I've got some shadowing down there, and then maybe put a little bit of paint on it since it does look like it's floating in the sky, right? So again, this is one way. Another way too, I could even add a tree. I could sketch in a tree if I wanted to, and then just add a little bit of color perhaps. So that's another way you can add in detail if you just think to yourself, gosh, I just want to add something else into my painting. It doesn't look quite finished. And that's the fun thing about especially this watercolor sketches that we can add. And it's very rarely, there's always, as Bob Ross used to say, there's happy accidents. There's very rarely where one is like really, awful, right? We can always cut it up, but I can add just some detail there. And all of a sudden I've added another layer to this painting, and I can go through here now if I so desire, and I can take my brown because I do want to use the same colors that I was using in my main painting. Now you'll notice the painting I haven't taped this one down. I'm not worried about this though. I'm going to use the same brown I was using in here so that we really keep the same colors going. And for example, just lay out the little bit of color in my trees, right, in the branches. And we're going to do a nice dark green. I'm even going to just go ahead and put a little bit of brown in the Eiffel Tower. We're just going to create that sense really of the Eiffel Tower almost in shadow, right? It's because we're not doing a lot of detail, because the detail really was on my coffee, which this was one of them where I was using a different pen, and oh my, it really just got a little bit muddy on me. That happens. I'm going to add a little blue to the brown now to create some shadowing. And then I'm just going to dip that over here. I'm going to put a little bit up down here in the trees. I'm just going to dip that in. I'm going to add a little bit of green, and I had included some green here, and I really needed that green to go somewhere else anyways, right? Because it looked a little bit lonely. So I can even dab a bit up here. And then just lay it down on top of my trees. And I was creating that sense of a sunset. That was the goal. So I'm going to add that same blue that I put in the brown. I'm going to add that blue to the green. Again, keeping that same base color, right? And I'll put some extra shadowies in here. And really, if I was doing this now too, I would want to put some shadows on the ground, right? So I can come back through here, take the brown, or even take it some pink even, and then just go ahead and lay those shadows down, pulling that brown. And that just adds some depth to our painting. That's fun, right? And so all of a sudden, we can add this to the chair. We've added a new layer to this painting, giving it a whole another look, just like that. A little bit pink up here, just a little bit. Lovely, 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 lovely. Go ahead and extend that tree. Okay, so just like we did there, we'll go ahead and you'll see my green went down, not a big deal. I'll just go back with my brown and dab it in here and put it in here. And I can play with it more later. There, beautiful. And that's even going in and creating those shadows too, right? So I'll bring that in just a little bit. Now that is one way you can just add a whole another layer to your paintings. Isn't that fun? I've almost created a new painting there, right? Kind of crazy. Now I can come back to this one up here now. And then again, grab my pen. Now I'm gonna grab my 8 micron pen here. I don't know if you can see that. There we go, we've got an 8 right there. And I am gonna start adding a little bit of detail to these sunflowers. Again, I'm not outlining them so much as I'm picking a couple just to emphasize some of those petals. I'm gonna go ahead and put, you know how the sunflowers, they have all those seeds. Okay, we're back. I'm sorry about that blip. It was a full card. Okay, so I am going to come back in here now because I wanted to show you one of the fun things I like to do if I'm going to add some detail with a pen is I really think it's fun to come through with our baskets and then add some detail like it's a weaved basket. So I might just do a bunch of crisscrosses here. And this just really adds, I don't even do them across the entire thing, but this really adds a sense of decoration, of just a little bit of fanciness, right? If you want to add them all the way, you certainly can. And maybe with this one, we'll fill it up. And then we'll put another layer of paint over. But see how that, again, that just starts to add a bit of texture and layer. Maybe over here on this one, I'll just do almost like a basket weaving. Like we've got a nice thick top over here, maybe 2. On this one, maybe it has some on the sides, for example. Maybe it's a basket that the vendor can pick up. So we will go ahead and put some edges on the sides here or the tassels. Maybe there's some thickness at the bottom. We can add a little bit of color here. I'll go back over here and complete my X's. Okay, so I've got that going on there. I'll have this go around. And again, back here, I'm just adding some shadowing, some detail if I want to as well. Maybe I want to, this basket, I want to do some stripes up. That'll show too the backwardness of the basket against the flowers. Now with these flowers, because it had been so wet, I had not done a lot of painting behind them, right? So I can go back and do that now. If I wanted to do a little bit more petal work, for example, or some leaf work and just show off maybe some fancy leaves, I can go ahead and do that with with the pens and make them more detailed if I so desire. Maybe put some edges on these beautiful flowers here. So now that I've done that, again, I've not done a ton, I've just done a little bit. You can go as detailed as you really want to. I'm going to add a little bit more on my lavender here and create some detail here, just some extra shapes. And then we can come back in now and then start putting in another layer of paint. And this is, once again, it just adds more detail, more depth. If maybe you wanted a little lavender poking out at the side, we can create that over here. Maybe I'll do another one here and then I'll put the paint over it. And some little leaf work over here. Okay, fantastic. So now I'm gonna bring that back out. So see again, you're already seeing that depth. Now we'll add a little bit more color with our paints. And I'll do the basket edge here. And maybe we have that line going in there. Put a line down here. And then once again, I'm gonna go ahead and grab, I'm gonna start with my yellow. And with the yellow up here, I wanted to just add a bit more color. That lightness. Maybe I want to fill in some of the yellow, the petals with the lemon yellow to really give them a pop of sunny brightness. And I'm just moving that around here. I definitely want to take a smaller brush and go in with some green, right? So I'm going to grab that green, and I'm going to grab the green that I had mixed with the blue. So we had used that same color combination in the other painting. We had used it here as well. And I'm going to go right under here, those petals, and then create that vibrant green for my stalks here. And we'd had one right here. And isn't that nice? It's really nice. And maybe too, I can even do the bottom of the leaf over here that would have more shadow. I can go ahead and just create a little bit more texture there. Now I can go on another one and get my green that does not have the blue in it, just the regular green for the lavender. I can start adding some more green over here where I felt maybe it was a little bit lacking. I wanted to fill it up a little bit more. And again, just adding some texture here. I'm not spending a lot of time, but wanting to create that sense of depth, of a little bit more detail. I'm going to take a darker green and just sporadically create that sense of multiple strands here, right? Lots of leaves instead of just a thick, solid bit of green here. Now in the tower over here, maybe we want to add, again, it's in the background, but maybe I want to add just a little bit more color there, a little bit more, really playing off the shadowing. So I'll go ahead and take that blue, the blue that I had mixed with a little bit of green, and come down here and just add that in there. Just a little bit of shadowing. I'm not going crazy with my Eiffel Tower. We're not going to do pinks today, but I will go ahead and then match that with some of the shadowing over by our boxes. And remember, watercolor always is going to dry a little bit darker. I'm sorry, dry a little bit lighter. So keep that in mind if you think it looks too bold. I'm going to add just a little bit of color to show the depth, a little bit of drama here in our Eiffel Tower, making it pop a little bit more. There we go, and that's about it that I'm going to do there. I'm not going to do too much. I'm going to go around these flowers so we are showing the shadowing in there. And because these flowers are completely dry, I don't have to worry about that bleeding in. Now I do want to add a little bit more here and then that purple. So I'm going to go back in with my purple first off. And I am going to just dab some purple in here. And you can use the purple, or if you wanted to mix the pink that we used over here with the blue, that would work too. And I'm just dabbing in some color here where it feels like it just wants it to, I want it to be a little bit fuller. Now if you want a little bit of variety, do grab some of the pink. Get your brush wet with the pink, and then where it is, you've added that color in, you can just dab in some pink. And the pink won't show up really boldly, but what we're looking for is it just to add, again, another color. This will go actually right in there nicely. If you can try to avoid the green, I got a little bit of pink in my green, but that's okay. Not a big deal. Now I did get a little bit too much pink, more pink than I wanted there, so I'm just going to dab in some purple over it. Not a big deal. Okay. That's looking really nice. And I had some of the lavender going over my flowers because they're a little bit more in the foreground. So I'm going to just do another layer, and if they go over the pink, that's okay because they're in front. And we'll go ahead over here too. And I'm really liking that. See, we're still kind of keeping that loose look too, right? We're not getting too much detail. We're not getting too segmented here. I'm going to grab my brown, and then right again, I'm just going to put a little bit of brown. Not everywhere, but just enough to create a little bit more depth, a little bit more detail. Let's go ahead now and just put a splash of yellow right on here on these beautiful flowers. And I'm going to go and just fill it up. Instead of doing more pink background, I'm going to just fill it up with making these flowers really, really robust. So I hope you're enjoying this. I hope this gives you some ideas, so perhaps you've been painting along with me, or you have your own paintings where you were not happy with the way they turned out. You felt like they were not finished. Sometimes just playing around, adding in some more flowers, some more petals, a little bit of detail work, that can make a huge difference. A huge difference in creating that sense of a painting that is finished. Sometimes you just know in your gut too, you're like, okay, it's done now. It wasn't done earlier. I'm gonna grab a bit of orange in here. but now it's done. And there's just a look about it that you know I can stop painting now. And sometimes you don't always know, but the more I paint, the more I kind of start to get that feeling of, okay, we're finished now. I'm just adding a few more colors here just to show that light dancing off these beautiful sunflowers, all of the sunflowers. And we had some of our yellow, those green that were hanging out, so I'm going to go ahead and add some yellow flowers too that are, aren't these beautiful and fun? So fun, so fun. I might even put a little yellow over here on this basket where the sun's maybe shining on top of it. Maybe I'll grab just a little bit of pink here and I'm going to dab it on here. Okay, the painting is dancing. It's dancing. I really, really like it. I might even do just the littlest bit of pink around here, just for fun, just to keep that color dancing all over the painting, right? Super, super fun. Okay, I hope you guys have enjoyed this painting with me. This is a very colorful, robust painting. I love it. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do with it, but this might be for a friend of mine that I have in mind. I think she would really get a kick out of this. It would be a bit of summer cheer to her day. Okay, I hope you have really enjoyed painting along and just getting some ideas for your own artwork. And this is so much fun to travel to Paris without the plane ticket, right? Okay, you guys, if you do want to check out my workshop, it is all of my Paris collections all in one place. It is $29. It's going to be on sale, and you can check it out at thecreativeseason.com/workshops, and I'll have a link below. But this was really a fun one, give you just a little bit of a taste of the style that's of some of the paintings that are in those collection of workshops. Okay, until next time, you guys, I hope you have a beautiful day.